Hello po sa mga grade 9 students. In this video, I am going to discuss how to illustrate and solve quadratic equations. Here are our objectives. First, we are going to define what is a quadratic equation. Second, transform quadratic equation into standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 and identify the real numbers a, b, and c. And then the last, we are going to solve quadratic equation. First, we are going to define what is a quadratic equation. A quadratic equation in one variable is a mathematical sentence of degree 2 that can be written in the standard form. Here are our examples of a quadratic equation. First, a squared plus 2a minus 4 is equal to 0. Next, 7x squared plus 2x is equal to 0. Next one, 8y squared plus 5y minus 7 is equal to 0. 7b squared plus 2b is equal to 0. And we have the last, 6m squared minus 15 is equal to 0. So these are examples of a quadratic equation. The standard form of a quadratic equation is given by ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. So let's have examples. We are going to write the following quadratic equation into the standard form and identify the value of a, b, and c. First example, x squared plus 5x is equal to 8. So this is not in the standard form. So this will become now x squared plus 5x minus 8 is equal to 0. The value of a now is equal to 1. The value for b is equal to 5. And then the value of c, or the constant, is equal to negative 8. Our second example, 3y squared is equal to negative 7. So our standard form, 3y squared plus 7 is equal to 0. So we transpose negative 7. This will become now positive 7. Our values of a now is equal to 3, b is equal to 0, and c is equal to 7. For number 3, we have the quadratic equation 9p squared is equal to 15p. Again, we are going to write this one into the standard form. So this will become 9p squared minus 15p is equal to 0. So the value of a now is equal to 9, b is equal to negative 15, and c is equal to 0. Next, number 4. 6m times the quantity 2m minus 1 is equal to 0. So here, we are going to apply or use the distributive property. So this will become 6m times 2m. It will give us 12m squared. And then 6m times negative 1. This will give us negative 6m, and that is equal to 0. Again, this is already the standard form. So we can now have the values for a, b, and c. Our value for a is equal to 12, b is equal to negative 6, and the value for c is equal to 0. For number 5, we have k plus 5 times k minus 3 is equal to 0. So here, we are going to apply or use what we call FOIL method. So if we apply the fold method, so we have the product of the first term, k times k. This will give us k squared. Next, we have the product of the two outer terms. We have k times negative 3. This is negative 3k. Next, the product of the two inner terms, they are 5 times k. This will give us 5k. And the last is the product of the two last term, that is 5 times negative 3. This will give us negative 15 is equal to 0. So as you can see here, we can still simplify negative 3k plus 5k because they are what we call similar terms. So this is k squared plus, so negative 3k plus 5k, that is 2k, minus 15 is equal to 0. So this is now the standard form of the quadratic equation. The value of a now is, we have 1, b is 2, and the value for c is equal to negative 15. So that is how we are going to transform the quadratic equation into standard form and identify the value for a, b, and c. So let's proceed in solving quadratic equations. So the first method is solving quadratic equation by extracting square root. Quadratic equations that can be written in the form x squared is equal to c can be solved by the method of what we call extracting the square roots. So our first case, if c is greater than 0, then x squared is equal to c. Then it has two real solutions or roots, and that is x is equal to the positive and negative square root of c. Let's proceed to the second case. If c is equal to 0, then x squared is equal to c has one real solution or root, and that is only x is equal to 0. And we have the last case. If c is less than 0, then x squared is equal to c has no real solutions or roots. Let's have example number 1. We are going to find the roots of x squared minus 4 is equal to 0 using extracting square root. So we have here x squared is equal to 4. We are going to transform this one into x squared is equal to c. So we are going to apply the case c is greater than 0. So this will give us x is equal to the positive and negative square root of 4. So square root of 4, this will give us 2. So the roots now are x is equal to 2 or x is equal to negative 2. So those are the roots or solutions. Second example, m squared is equal to 0. In this case, we are going to apply the case c is equal to 0. Therefore, the root or solution is m is equal to 0. The third, y squared plus 25 is equal to 0. Again, we are going to transform it into x squared is equal to c. So this will become y squared is equal to negative 25. We are going to apply the third case, and that is c is less than 0. Therefore, the equation has no real solutions or roots. So that is solving quadratic equation using extracting square root. The second method is solving quadratic equation by factoring. Here are the steps. The first step, we are going to transform the quadratic equation into the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So that is the first step. Our second step, we are going to factor the quadratic equation. The third, we are going to apply what we call the zero product property by setting each factor of the quadratic expression equal to 0. So the zero product property, it states that if the product of two real numbers is 0, then either of the two is equal to 0 or both numbers are equal to 0. So that is what we call the zero product property. And for number 4, solve its resulting equation. So we are going to apply these steps in solving quadratic equation using factoring. For number 1, find the roots or solutions of x squared plus 9x is equal to negative 8 by factoring. So for step 1, we are going to transform that one into the standard form. So this will give us x squared plus 9x plus 8 is equal to 0. This is already the standard form. For step 2, we are going to factor now. So the factors of x squared plus 9x plus 8 is equal to 0 are x plus 1 times x plus 8 is equal to 0. The third step, that is, we are going to apply what we call the zero product property, and that is x plus 1 is equal to 0, and the other one is x plus 8 is equal to 0. And the fourth step, solve the resulting linear equation, that is now x plus 1 is equal to 0, and the other one is x plus 8 is equal to 0, and that is x is equal to positive 1 transposed to the other side. This will become negative 1, and we have also x plus 8 is equal to 0, and that is x is equal to negative 8. So therefore, the roots or solutions are negative 1 and negative 8. Let's have number 2. Solve 3x squared plus 7x is equal to negative 2 using the method of factoring. So as you can see here, this is not in the standard form. So applying step number 1, we are going to transform that one into standard form. So this will give us 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 is equal to 0. Step number 2, we are going to factor out. So the factors of 3x squared plus 7x plus 2 is equal to 0 are 3x plus 1 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. The third step, we are going to apply the what we call zero product property, and that is 3x plus 1 is equal to 0, and the other one, x plus 2 is equal to 0. And then for the last step, we are going to solve the resulting linear equation. That is now 3x is equal to negative 1 transpose positive 1, that will become negative 1, and x plus 2 is equal to 0. This will give us x is equal to negative 2. So this is already our first root. So we are going to solve 3x is equal to negative 1. So divide both sides by 3. So we have cancel out. So that will become x is equal to negative 1 over 3. And the other one is also negative 2. Therefore, the roots or solutions of the quadratic equation 3x squared plus 7x is equal to negative 2 are negative 1/3 and negative 2. So that is the method of factoring. Let's proceed to the second The third method, that is solving quadratic equation using completing the square. Again, there are steps to be followed. The first one, transform the given quadratic equation in the form of ax squared plus bx is equal to c, where a, b, and c are real number constants. Second, divide both sides of the equation by the coefficients of x squared if a is not equal to 1. But if a is equal to 1, you're going to proceed to the next step. The third step, get 1/2 of the coefficient of x, square it, and add to both sides to make the left side a perfect square trinomial. And then the fourth step, factor the left side and simplify the right side if possible. The fifth step, extract the square root of both sides and prefix the positive and negative sign before the square root of the right side member. And we have the last step, solve the resulting linear equation. So there are 6 steps to consider in solving quadratic equation using the method of completing the square. Okay, example number 1. We're going to solve the quadratic equation x squared plus 6x minus 16 is equal to 0 using completing the square. So step 1, that is x squared plus 6x is equal to 16. We're going to write this one in the form of ax squared plus bx is equal to c. So negative 16 transpose to the other side, that will become 16. So since the value of a is equal to 1, we are going to proceed to the next step, that is the third step. So here we are going to look for a number wherein we are going to make this one a perfect square trinomial. So how do we get 9 here? So that is, get 1/2 the coefficient of x, that is equal to 6, and then square it. So that is 1/2 of 6, that is 3, and then 3 square is equal to 9. So if we add 9 here, we also add 9 to the other side. So x squared plus 6x plus 9 is already a perfect square trinomial. So for step number 4, that is, so since this is already a perfect square trinomial, the factors are x plus 3 and x plus 3. And simplify 16 plus 9, this will give us 25. For step, that is the square x plus 3 times x plus 3, we're going to write this one as the square of a binomial. So this will give us the square of x plus 3 is equal to 25. For step number 5, that is extract the root. So this is square both sides of the equation, that is the square root of x plus 3 is equal to, we are going to prefix positive and negative. So that is positive negative square root of 25. So for step number 6, that is, so x plus 3, so we are going to cancel out. So this will give us x plus 3 is equal to positive and negative. We have the square root of 25 is equal to 5. And then solve the resulting linear equation, this is now x plus 3 is equal to 5, and the other one is x plus 3 is equal to negative 5. So this will give us now x is equal to 5 minus 3, and the other one x is equal to, we have negative 5 minus 3. So that is 5 minus 3, that is equal to 2, and then negative 5 minus 3, that is negative 8. Therefore, the roots or solutions of the quadratic equation x squared plus 6x minus 16 is equal to 0 are 2 and negative 8. That is using completing the square. Example number 2. So we are going to solve for the roots or solution of this quadratic equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0 using completing the square. Again, for step number 1, we are going to transfer the constant to the other side. This will become 2x squared plus 8x is equal to positive 10. So negative 10 transposed, this will give us 10. For step number 2, so since the value of a is equal to 2, so we are going to divide both sides to 2. That is 2x squared plus 8x over 2 is equal to 10 over 2. So if we divide both sides, if we divide that one, this will give us 2x squared divided by 2, that is x squared. 8x divided by 2, that is 4x. And then 10 divided by 2, that is equal to 5. So that is now x squared plus 4x is equal to 5. For step 3, again, we're going to make this one, make x squared plus 4x a perfect square trinomial. So how? Again, get 1/2 the coefficient of b, and that is 4. So that is 1/2 of 4, and then square it is equal to, so 1/2 of 4, that is equal to 2, and then square it is equal to, 2 squared is equal to 4. So we are going to add both sides by 4. So we have plus 4 and then plus 4. Again, x squared plus 4x plus 4 is already a perfect square trinomial. So the factors of x squared plus 4x plus 4 are x plus 2 times x plus 2. And then 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. Next, we are going to write this one or express this one into the square of a binomial. That is, the square of x plus 2 is equal to 9. And then for step number 5, we are going to square both sides of the equation. That is, the square root of x plus 2 is equal to positive and negative the square root of 9. For step number 6, so we can simplify this one, cancel out. That is, x plus 2 is equal to positive and negative 3. Square root of 9 is equal to 3. So solve the resulting linear equation. That is, x plus 2 is equal to 3, and the other one, x plus 2 is equal to negative 3. So this is now x is equal to 3 minus 2, and the other one, x is equal to, we have negative 3 transpose positive 2, that is negative 2. So we have x is equal to negative 3 minus 2. So that will give us x is equal to 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. And the other one, the other root, x is equal to negative 3 minus 2, that is equal to negative 5. Therefore, the roots or solutions of the quadratic equation 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0 are 1 and negative 5. So that is the method of completing the square. The last method in solving quadratic equation is using the quadratic formula. So another method in solving quadratic equation is by using the quadratic formula, and that is x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, wherein a, b, and c are real numbers and a should not be equal to 0. Take note that the quadratic formula can solve any type of quadratic equation. So here are the steps in solving quadratic equation using quadratic formula. Our first step, write the quadratic equation in the standard form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The second step, determine the values of a, b, and c. The third step, substitute the values of a, b, and c in the quadratic formula x is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then the last step, simplify the result. Okay, so let's try to apply the steps in solving the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 3x is equal to 5 using quadratic formula. So for step number 1, we are going to write this one into the standard form. So the standard form of 2x squared minus 3x is equal to 5 is 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. Step number 2, we are going to identify the values of a, b, and c. So our value for a is 2, the value for b is negative 3, and the value for c, or the constant, is negative 5. For step number 3, we are going to substitute it now from the quadratic formula. X is equal to negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So substitute the values of a, b, and c. So that is now x is equal to negative, our value for b is negative 3, so negative times negative 3 plus minus the square root of the value for b again is negative 3, so the square of negative 3 minus 4 times our value for a is 2, the value for c is negative 5 over 2a, our value for a is 2. For step number 4, we are going to simplify this one now. So that is x is equal to negative times negative 3, the product is 3, plus minus the square of negative 3 is equal to 9, and then negative 4 times 2 times negative 5, the product is 40. So we have negative 4 times 2 is negative 8 times negative 5, that is equal to positive 40. And then 2 times 2 equals 4. And then next, x is equal to 3 plus minus the square root of 9 plus 40, that is equal to 49 over 4. So equals 3 plus minus square root of 49, that is equal to 7 over 4. So solve the resulting linear equation, that is now x is equal to 3 plus 7 over 4, and that is equal to 3 plus 7 is 10 over 4, or the lowest term of 10 over 4 is equal to 5 over 2. Their common factor is equal to 2. So the lowest term is 5 over 2. So our first root is 5 over 2. Let's proceed to the second root. We will take the negative. So x is equal to 3 minus 7 over 4 equals, so 3 minus 7, that is equal to negative 4 over 4, or negative 4 divided by 4, that is equal to negative 1. Therefore, the roots or solutions of the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 3x is equal to 5 are 5 over 2 and negative 1. So that is the method of quadratic formula. Let's proceed to the second example. So solve x squared minus 9 is equal to 0 using quadratic formula. Again, the first step, we are going to write this one into the standard form. So this is already the standard form. X squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Our second step, identify the values of A, B, and C. So our value for A is 1. The value for B is equal to 0. And the value of C is equal to negative 9. For step number 3, we are going to substitute the values of A, B, and C to the quadratic formula. So that is x is equal to negative 0. The value for B is 0. Plus minus the square root of 0 minus 4 times the value for A is 1. Our value for C is negative 9 over 2 times value for A is 1. So 2 times 1. So for step number 4, we are going to simplify this one. So x is equal to negative 0. Wala na yan. So positive, negative, the square root of 0. So we have 0 minus negative 4 times 1 times negative 9. That is equal to, so let's continue here. X is equal to positive, negative, the square root of 0 plus 0 times 4 times 1 times negative 9. That is 36 over 2 equals positive and negative 0 plus 36, that is equal to 36 over 2. And that is x is equal to the square root of 36, that is equal to 6. So we have positive negative 6 over 2. So therefore our first root, x now is equal to 6 over 2, or that is equal to 3. This is our first root or solution. The second root, we will take the negative, that is x is equal to negative 6 over 2, or negative 6 divided by 2 is equal to negative 3. So the roots now, or the roots or solutions of the quadratic equation are 3 and negative 3. So those are the methods in solving quadratic equation. So, that's all for now. Sana po meron po kayong natutunan. Maraming salamat po.